think we are live.
We are live.
We're back.
It keeps telling me that so there's a premium. Remove this destination.
Really?
Save changes. It's going to be fine. Right, we can cut all this out. It's all good.
This is fine.
It's fine. It's fine. It's just symptomatic of the weekend that we've all had. Some of us more than others. Right, let's go.
Well,
Hi.
It's been eventful.
An eventful 1 minute. Yeah. So we have just done the League 2 606. The League 2 606 has been around for years. Well, yeah, years, like 3 seasons, I think.
I think I've been going on it for 2 years, and this is my third.
Right. And because of that, it's got a lot of people that have kind of joined in for you know, the regulars. But for League One, we don't so much have that. So we thought we'd do a kind of hybrid podcast, 606. If anyone wants to join, the little kind of ticker tape thing at the bottom has got the link to the thing. We've set it up so you don't have to have your camera on. You can just have audio. No one can see Harry anymore anyway, so you can just pretend you're like Harry and sit in the dark.
I'd rather, after the last 3 months. In fact, you look at me even here, like I should be still crying. But...
So let's do all of that first, and then it's out of the way, and you can get excited about other things in League One.
Well, yeah, should we just start with our transfer business?
Yes.
And then we'll get on to our game.
Yes.
Right. That is how you don't do a transfer window.
Yes.
You heard what Sally said on that 606 on League 2. Well, if we bidded for Crowley weeks ago for 600k, it might have been a chance they'd have accepted that.
Yeah.
The fact that Kilo Dunn wanted to go weeks ago and we've not gone in for Crowley, knowing that we were going to put a bid in if Kilo Dunn goes, shows how poor our business has been. It just shows absolutely everything.
I feel like it's I don't know whether it's so much poor business as poor game playing. Like there has been a game going on between Mansfield and Barnsley, and you know, probably Davis as well, in terms of who will break first. You know, would Mansfield take a lower offer? You know, Davis Keeler-Dunn's agent will have been talking to Barnsley and will have been saying, you know, he wants to come, he wants to go, he wants this opportunity. You know, we're going to make sure this happens. So you can see why they didn't meet Mansfield's valuation early on, because they would have been waiting to see what they could get. Meanwhile, Mansfield are approaching Notts County at seemingly the last minute, not matching. You see, you've gone completely now. Is that the TV going off?
Yep, they were going back.
Bloody hell. Mansfield are going to Notts County, putting a bid in for Crowley, and Notts County are playing a game because they're quite happy to keep him.
We are rivals as well.
You know, expecting Mansfield to come back higher and higher and higher, which hasn't happened. So what's ended up happening is that Mansfield have let Keeler-Dunn go for less than they wanted to. And I just a little bit, I was like, Crawley, someone from Crawley's here. It's exciting, isn't it? We'll finish talking about Mansfield, and then we'll do Crawley.
Yeah. Well, I just think it was all a bit shit. You know, we lost Aidan Flint for 13 weeks, and we are now left. Well, we thought we was left with one fit centre off, but then in comes Bailey Cargill, who weren't even meant to be back until like after the international break.
Yeah, I was surprised to see him.
And then Hewitt, who can't play more than 70 minutes before his knee starts fucking getting napped. You know, it's bad. It's really bad. We should have got a defender in. It should have been a priority even before Flint went out injured.
Mm-hmm.
We conceded 4 to Lincoln. We conceded 3 to Burton. You know, we needed a defender. We didn't get one. And we've missed out on multiple targets. And it just really makes you question as a Mansfield fan, what is happening?
Is there anyone from the free agent market that you think
there is
would
one,
be a good fit?
There is one. And I mean, it's quite in the know. Everyone knows it now that we were after Scott Fraser from Charlton.
Mm-hmm.
He's meant to be the DKD replacement, but I don't know. He's just, according to Charlton fans, he never looked like he gave a fuck to play. So,
but sometimes that, and we've talked about that before with all sorts of players. They go somewhere and click. Ben Whitfield was shit at not shit at County, but went to Barrow and started scoring goals every week, including against us. And I think, sometimes it's personality clashes, and you can imagine that at Charlton, particularly. Yeah.
And then I think I'll touch on the DKD situation. I think, you've got two sides of the story. You've got on the one hand DKD saying he gave everything for the club, etc. And then you've got people coming out, well, from the club saying he wants to leave. He's blah, 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 blah. For me, I wish, and, for the people and the Mansfield fans who are going to slag him off, because that's how fickle football fans work. And we've got quite a huge chunk. Now I've let it settle in that he has gone. I consider him as one of my heroes. I mean, I've grown up. This is my second promotion watching Mansfield. Obviously, we got promoted out of the National League. He'll go down as one of them people who you always go, oh, can you remember him? Can you remember that guy? Oh, motorbikes just gone past the house.
What was that?
Motorbikes.
Oh, right.
Yeah, that's mental. But yeah, I wish him nothing but the best, and I really hope he does go on to do good things at Barnsley. He's a good lad. You're not just losing a player there; you're losing a good lad. Who I've met on many occasions, more times both pissed up. But I wish him all the best now. I hope he does well, and his family are lovely as well. So
I thought about his mum, and is Hannah his wife?
No,
sister.
Demi's his wife.
There was the Hannah.
Mum.
Okay. And Barnsley have won their first 2 away games to a league campaign for the first time since August 2018. They don't tend to have good away starts, which puts them with 23 goals across their last 10 away games. So that's good to know. We're playing them in a couple of weeks on a...
Should we bring in the Crawley fan just before we get into our game? Because they did play Barnsley.
Yes. Right, go on.
Hello, can you hear me?
Hi, Daniel. Yeah, we can hear you.
Cool, yeah. Right.
So you played Barnsley on Saturday?
We didn't play, I'll be honest. But it was actually horrendous.
Oh.
The first game I've got to this season as well.
Oh no, and it started so do you think it's just a blip, or because I obviously always look out for Crawley's results, and in a weird kind of anti-rivalry way, I'm properly rooting for you,
right?
And it started so well.
It did start so well, but we played first off Blackpool, where we've since already changed managers.
Yes.
Cambridge apparently.
Yes.
They've not been brilliant, and we needed a late winner there, and then apparently we absolutely dominated Wigan and just got an unlucky own goal. Yesterday, I'd say it was a blip, but I think Barnsley just came with a better game plan. I mean, everybody knows how Scott Lindsay wants to play football, but Barnsley took advantage of it. They won a corner, scored the opening, then had a one-on-one from us giving it straight to them, and then won a penalty from it, and it's 3-0 before you know it.
There were one of the goals where I thought it was poor defending. I think it was one of Phillips's goals, really just runs through your doesn't run through your defence. Ball gets played through to him, and he just slots into it near post. I thought, why is your keeper leaving his near post that far open?
Yeah, not a big fan of Walcott. I would have much rather keep Adai, of course, but you know, and also that came straight from a Crawley throw-in as well, right?
Yeah, it did. Yeah.
Yeah, I was shouting for him to throw it straight to Darcy, who instead went 2 yards to someone who got dispossessed straight away, and it was like 2 passes and the one-on-one with Walcott.
It was poor. It was poor all round. I mean, this is because last season, obviously being in League Two for a while with Crawley, I've got a lot of Crawley fans who messaged me. This was one of the messages that I got off him. They took pity on us in the second half. It felt like Barnsley weren't even that good, as they didn't need to be. What is that right?
That's absolutely right. Yeah, we took until like Barnsley just let off the entire second half, and it took us till the 85th minute to have a shot, and that one was still blasted over the stand. So,
jeez, it's so unlike Crawley. You know, the Crawley
it was very unlike Crawley because we'd just come off of losing 4-0 at Brighton, despite playing really well against them. I thought personally. And
yeah, you did play well. I thought you went bad at all.
Yeah. And then we get Will Swan. Thanks for him, by the way. He looked good in that second half. And
he is good, mate.
Harry's happy to let him go.
I am. Do you know what it was with him? It's just that he's a good player to run in behind. But if you actually want a player who can hold up, well, you need a good mix in this league. A player that can hold it up as well as running in behind. He just is too lightweight to do that. But I think Scott Lindsay, I know what Scott Lindsay's like. He's going to get the best out of him, like he did with Orsi. So
yeah, well, the thing is, right? Yesterday when he came on, he didn't go straight up front. I forget who he came on for, but we kept Hepburn Murphy as the lone striker, and then subbed him off for Adeyemo, who stayed up front. But Swan, really, him and Jeremy Kelly created pretty much anything that resembled an attack for Crawley.
Well, what you'll find out about Will Swan is he will create something out of nothing. That's what he does.
Yeah.
Like if you can get him to go in behind, he'll cut in. He'll be able to create something. His finishing product's not always the best, but when it's going to be a Will Swan kind of day, that's the feeling we always have at Mansfield. But within the first 10 minutes, you knew.
Right. So that's kind of exactly what we didn't need, because with players who can create stuff, we have Darcy, Kelly, Kitena, and now Swan. We don't have anyone who can score the chances, worryingly.
He's a confidence person. If he starts scoring, then all hell will break loose.
Right.
If he doesn't, then it's just going to be a long, hard season. He'll still play well. He just won't be able to finish. He's a massive confidence player.
So next weekend, Harry, Crawley have got Burton.
Oh,
had there?
Yeah, Burton
it's still showing on the football web pages list.
Yeah, no. So Terence Van Kooten and a couple others for Burton are away really random internationals. And also Walcott's been picked for Ghana, and our backup keeper's been picked for Wales's under-21, so that could have been a bit worrying.
There you go then. So you've got 2 weeks now.
Yes, and great.
Yeah, but Daniel, we feel exactly the same. In the state, we've been saying, we've won the first 3 games, but then we've got Mansfield, who we always lose to, and Crawley, who we always draw with. So
this is true. Yeah,
it's fine. It's fine. It's going to be fine.
All 4 games between us two, but in the last 2 years have been really high quality games of football, I've thought.
Yeah, I've seen all 4 of them in person. I went down to both of the Crawley midweek ones.
I was well done, fair enough. Yeah, I've only been to those home games, but what was it, 3-3 and whatever the other
I think one was the
1-1.
last.
It was 2-1 to you, wasn't it? Where
we
Powell
won at home.
Yeah.
And
then we won it. Yeah.
Lost yours, and then last season I think it was 3-3 and 1-1.
one of the most entertaining 1-1 draws I think I've ever been at.
Yeah, it
was so good.
It was where we were 1-0 up for most of the game, and then Charlie made a load of changes and you scored. So that'll be fun. And it'll be Corey Dye's homecoming.
Yeah.
So
I've got a question actually. Right.
Okay.
You lost a lot of players who were in your starting 11.
We did do that, yes.
Yeah, which one do you think you're missing the most now? Obviously, I think Kelly were the best player to leave you there out of that bunch. But who is the player you're missing the most?
Based on the replacements, I'm gonna have to say Corey.
Really? Corey Dye?
Yeah. I
think also.
Yeah, like he's think just missing most of the team, if I'm honest.
all right, well, think about it
apart
positively.
from maybe Wright.
Yeah, of the ones that have come in, and not necessarily the names, because I mean Crawley are very data driven. Your recruiters kind of find people from nowhere.
Did you
Who
see
were the ones to watch?
Josh Flint, the central defender.
So good.
Yeah, central defender we got from the Eredivisie, which he was rumoured to be partnered with a Nigerian international that we were planning on signing from the Tanzanian Premier League. That didn't actually happen, but
what?
That was actually a rumour on Friday where we were supposed to be supposedly signed. Apparently, the team that we signed him from confirmed it or something.
Oh wow!
Don't know what happened from there.
Oh,
I mean, there's a chance it still might happen, and they're still trying to get international clearance or something like that.
Maybe.
The thing is with Crawley, I can't bet against them. I can't bet for them to win because you just don't know which one you're going to get. You're such an unpredictable team. It's unbelievable. Like when you came to our place and beat us 4-1 last year.
Oh, I was at that. That was a very fun day out.
Yeah, it wasn't for me. I think
Harry loved it so much he got a tattoo for it.
Yeah.
What?
No, I pretty much beat Notts County 4-1 last year. I got it tattooed 4-1.
Right.
Along with a DKD tattoo, which is
I am so glad he wasn't eligible to play yesterday, by the way.
Yeah.
That could have been absolute horror show.
Well, he did nothing in April against you when you beat us 4-1.
Yeah, we were really glad not to see him either yesterday.
Neither did most of the Mansfield team that day.
No, honestly, I genuinely think that was the worst performance of the season. I don't think it's even close. Like, that Lolos just literally ruined us. He just bullied us. It was like, it was wrong.
Yeah.
Where did he go?
Bolton. Went Bolton. Don't think he started yet for them.
I've not seen him.
Sure, he's injured.
But Bolton have had a horrible start as well in terms
they lost to Exeter, didn't they?
Yeah, they've lost consecutive league games without scoring for the first time in a good couple of years.
It's a touchy subject, guys, that. Bolton to win. They let me down for 108 quid.
Oh no! Shit, you really did have a bad Saturday.
Oh.
Yeah. It's but no, with Crawley, I don't think this defeat against Barnsley is anything too bad. You know, they are in the playoffs. I know we did beat them away, but you know, first game of the season, anything can happen. I wouldn't take it too.
No.
What's the word?
But we have got a worrying month coming up with 3 games. Can't remember who. We've got 2 home games, 1 away. I can't remember what the last home game is. But we've got Stockport at home and Wrexham away. Great. Wrexham, we've just won at Peterborough as well.
I know, but I keep saying this though, and it's true for an awful lot of teams in our league. There has been a massive amount of transfer business, and it didn't kind of tail off. So, like your Rotherhams, your Birminghams, Peterborough, they're playing with teams that just haven't clicked yet, and it's probably best to get them out of the way now.
Yeah,
we said this to Marshall, who's one of the owners at Leyton Orient, a couple of weeks ago. In that they'd started with Bolton, Birmingham, and Charlton, You know, get them out of the way now, and then you know you can hit the ground running. You don't have those like we've got Birmingham at the beginning of December. By then they'll be.
We've got them in the week leading up to Christmas. We got them on the 20th.
Yeah, I think Crawley and County are on the same like blocks because we had our first two games
Blackpool and
Cambridge
as
and
well.
Blackpool. Yeah.
Crawley's next games are Stockport at home, Wrexham away, and then Bolton at home. Then it's us.
Oh yeah, Bolton at home, right? Yeah, that's a 12:30 kickoff, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, and then you've got us on a Tuesday night, which I'm going to because I start my new job on the 3rd. I'll leave my old one on the 27th, which means I've got a bit of a gap. So I can.
Was that down here or?
Yeah, I'm coming down there.
Right.
Which, if we get beat 4-1 again, will be the most worthless trip of my life.
Don't know. Last time we played you here, you looked a lot more like a promotion side than you did in April.
I think. No, the day before my birthday, 3-1, didn't we?
Yeah, it was 3-1. It was a Flint header and then a couple other goals. And just don't think we're very good that day.
I think Keeler Dunn scored that day. God bless his soul.
Oh God, don't.
It's just
probably did.
Do you think there's anything...
I love a Crawley away day.
Obviously, the first month's gone of the season. What do you think needs to change?
I think we do actually need to have a plan B because in League 2 we did just get away with keep pressing on and just passing it around. We can get away with that against against a team who's Harry's gone.
Oh, he's gone. You can carry on.
Against a team, you know, I mean, Barnsley were in the Championship playoffs not too long ago. You've got Huddersfield who were in the Premier League not too long ago. Birmingham, you're not going to get away with that, are you?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, to be fair, you do need a plan B in this league. I mean, we learned the hard way last week at Lincoln. Game smashed 4-1. But I think I've seen a lot of people say the same thing. Apparently, you couldn't cope with their press.
We could not cope with their press. I don't think we got out of our half in the first half hour. Yeah,
that was like us at Lincoln. Like, honestly. So then, obviously, we'll get on towards Mansfield later. But we played with a plan B yesterday. So it is about having that plan B. Has Scott Lindsay got it in him? Because he didn't need to do it last year. We'll find out. But his plan A's too good anyway. Yeah, I love his plan A. But we'll find out if he's got that plan B.
It's the one thing Swindon fans still keep banging on about when they talk about how terrible Scott Lindsay was for them is that he didn't have a plan B.
To be honest, though, I love Swindon. I love their fans to bits. They've got some great people in that fan base, but they just moan at everything. So I won't really take anything.
This is true.
Yeah. And when they were campaigning for Scott Lindsay to be out, they were 5th. It was a really weird take, given how things progressed throughout the season. They would have snatched your hand off for 5th a few months later.
The reason was because he didn't get home results.
Yeah.
Actually, we beat them at home that year as well when he was in charge for them.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, we beat them at the Broadfield and then lost away when he was in charge of us on the last day, and we were already setting up, and no one actually cared.
Right. Well, we'll move on. Thanks so much for joining us, Anya. It was really interesting, and I'll wave from the away end in a couple of weeks.
I'm actually not there.
I can't wait to be freezing my tits off on a Tuesday night in October. Bring it on.
Right, so where do we go next? Are we going to do County and Mansfield?
Is there anyone that's requested or?
No, so we can just carry on as that. You know what? That was really useful and interesting to see kind of a Crawley fans perspective.
Really, we barely had one. If I remember last season, I don't think we had a couple. Come on, here and there, but that was good to see.
And he was very realistic and reasonable.
Should we go with?
Nice.
Go on, go from your perspective. I want to know what you think.
So Stockport County have not beaten Mansfield in the Football League since 1983. That is a heck of a statistic. You were, I think, the only, if not one of the only teams that took 6 points of us last season. I am emotionally scarred still from the ridiculous scenes in the Mansfield away end in 22-23 when you equalised in the 88th minute. And it was it? Well, whatever. It was like you'd won the bloody World Cup. And Mansfield fans have a tendency to over-celebrate against Stockport. Don't know why. So I don't enjoy
we're just a good
playing
fan base. We're just a good fan base. We're passionate. People call it over-celebrating. I call it passionate. Because when we scored yesterday, I was on the chair just going, yeah.
Do you know what? Charlotte's chair yesterday, I'll send you a photo of it. It was so badly broken from someone doing that she had to sit on my dad's jumper because it was, it would have caused a significant injury. Yeah. But anyway, that's an aside. Oh, and the pies are really good. Anyone, don't listen to Harry when he tells you that the food at Mansfield's shit. Maybe they've changed.
No, they're not. People are complaining about these new pies because they are dog wank. Unless they've changed.
No, even my dad, who is a pie aficionado, was impressed with he particularly noted the quality and quantity of filling.
I don't know. I think
anyway, back to football. So if someone had said to me at 10 o'clock yesterday morning, would you take a point? I would absolutely have taken a point, and that's what we came away with. No one in our league has won all 4 games. So because Huddersfield drew as well yesterday.
No, they lost. Ended up losing. Lost it last minute.
Oh, did they? Oh, I didn't even see that. Oh, well, that makes me feel a little bit better. Anyway, that makes sense because Birmingham are 3rd. Right. Well, anyway. So no one, but we are unbeaten, which is nice. I think Wrexham are unbeaten. Are Birmingham unbeaten? Probably.
Birmingham are not unbeaten. They lost. Oh no, they drew to. No, they drew. They're unbeaten.
Yeah. So that's reassuring. That top of the league table with us and Wrexham makes me feel sick. I can't, it just brings back PTSD from last season and from 3 seasons ago. Can't be dealing with that again. I think I think you were unlucky to have that second goal disallowed.
Yeah, I agree.
I think one of our ridiculously high number of shots in the last 20 minutes should have gone in.
Tanto's
was the most notable. There was that Fev's one at the beginning as well that kind of bounced off the up and off the crossbar.
I thought that was in, but then I spoke to my dad who sits behind the net and he said it weren't even close.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't.
I looked obviously I see it closest to your fans in that little section at the top. Little
rowdy gobby section.
We are rowdy, but I still call it passionate. When I looked at it, I thought 2 things. He's pulled his pants down, that defender, and gone, see you next week, mate. And 1, that's probably a goal. And then my dad messaged me at half time when it weren't even close. So
but I think you did a very good job on Louis Barry. You saw his frustration when he went off. He didn't want to go off. He wanted to get his 4 goals in 4 games. He was the only player to have got 3 from 3 in open play because one of Alfie May's was a penalty. And he was incredibly frustrated that he was contained. What that meant for us was that Fevs on the other side had more space, and I think Louis probably just needs to accept that that's what's going to happen in many games.
Do you know what it was, though? Our right side was stronger.
Okay.
And more fit defensively.
Right.
So, obviously, McLaughlin, he's quality going forward, defensively, a liability. He was the left wing back.
Right.
Okay. Our left centre back, he hasn't played a full match since Newport last season.
Oh, wow.
Maybe wrong. And that were in March. So
yeah.
I don't think it were a case of we would try. I mean, there must have been a game plan to stop Barry, because I honestly, like, there was a point where I genuinely thought he got subbed off and he was still on the pitch when I went.
Yeah, it was just contained.
I'm not meaning that in a bad way, because I love Louis Back to bits. I think he's incredible.
Yeah. And even so, there were times where he still found space and he ran through them. And, you know, he's an incredibly good, that's underwhelming. He's an incredibly technical, clinical football player. But they did very well at containing him. I mean, we're still injury stricken as well. And Charlie made change. So Charlie never normally changes a winning team. So when we were on our winning run last season, Fan Hub was brilliant, because you could guarantee you'd get 11 out of 11 every week, because it would not change. And he made changes yesterday. So Jay Mingy, who had picked up an injury at the very end of the Bristol game last week, he was out, and Tyler Onyango came in for him. He's the loanee from Everton.
I didn't rate him, I'm going to be honest.
I thought he made a couple of really impressive clearances, and he was busy. It's the first time he started. You know, you talked to Sally.
So it's like Cardiff for us.
Yeah, you talked to Sally as well about, like, lone players not always having that confidence. And the first, like, he's come on a couple of times. I think, in fact, he might have come on in all 3 games, but it was the first time he'd started, and I think that showed. And then Jack Diamond was out for Fevrier, who started. Who, in fairness, you know, he came on against Blackpool and scored. He got an assist in the first game, coming on as a sub. I think he deserved the start. But like I say, it's unusual that Charlie makes changes, and then he's still Lewis Bate out.
I did know. I could tell you were injury stricken when it was getting later and later in the match, and you still only had made 1 change.
Yeah,
that's when I know he's trying not to risk players. So maybe Jack Diamond has a knock. Maybe Odin Bailey. Is Odin Bailey?
I don't think he came on. He was warming up. He was on the he was on the bench. Lewis Bates still out. I mean, Ollie Norwood has been brilliant.
Oh my God, I forgot to even message you about him. Bear in mind, I was drunk. I'm watching this guy, and he sobered me up somehow with just how satisfying it was just to watch him pass the ball.
Yeah.
He's still a Premier League player. I don't care.
And even the corners, like, he was taking our corners on the right, and there was just no dicking about. He just puts the ball down, takes 2 steps back, puts his arm out, and whacks it in.
Have you seen the Danny Dyer meme where he's in the car and he goes, "I am fucking shitting myself." That would be every time you got a corner. Honestly. Wow. If you don't score a lot of corners this season, your centre-halves or whoever's up from a corner needs looking at, because some of them deliveries were incredible.
Yeah, and I think they've been practicing, and I didn't see it yesterday, but we scored from it against Bristol, where it comes in from Norwood to Horsfall on the far post, who just heads it in.
You tried that in last minute, and I think ball comes across, and I think Oshlaja, our centre half, just goes bomb straight away.
Should we talk about the referee?
Yeah, we'll talk about referee, and then we'll get on to my perspective of the game. But the ref, oh my God, I had to put it on Twitter.
I can't. I mean, I said to you at halftime, I can't work out how someone can be so inconsistent, but be consistently bad for both teams. In terms of it kind of cancelled itself out. But, you know, there was a Mansfield fan that said on Twitter about how, like he felt bad for us when there were things that should clearly have been given in our favor, and I felt the same. It was like, yeah, I don't.
It was like
Uh-uh.
the littlest touch, and someone would go down, he'd give it, and then quite a harsh touch, like a blatant push in the back for both. Yeah. And I've seen it on both teams.
Yeah.
Yesterday, because one of your players were all over Will Evans, and I mean all over him. You could see his top come up. He drops to the floor, and ref's just gone play on. And it's the most simple foul on planet.
Yeah.
And then 2 minutes later, we've got the ball again. Your player literally just taps. I think it was McLaughlin or Quinn. Drops to the floor, foul. I'm like, eh? And then it was the same for you. I mean, honestly, so many poor decisions. There was a handball, but in the first half, apparently. But I said to my dad, I disagree with that being a penalty. I think he got that right, because it was a handball. Like, he handled the ball, but it was like that far away.
Yeah.
Wait, how do I do it in camera? There, that far away. Yeah.
Yeah, no issue with that.
The referee. If your Football League paper gives him above a 6, and that's me being nice, I honestly wouldn't subscribe to it again. Like,
I'll tomorrow morning when it comes through the door, I'll take a picture of it and I'll post it on Twitter, and we can discuss it, because I don't think I've seen lower than a 6 yet this season.
It must be the guy who runs the ref support account who does it. Honestly. It was one of the worst refereeing performances I've seen since AFC Wimbledon, and that guy, Will Finney. Wow, what a shit ref.
We have an awful ref at Wimbledon as well.
Yeah.
Seb Stockbridge is normally a bit of a nightmare for us, but he was all right in the first half, and then he was awful in the second half the other week. But and Sonny Singh I used to love, and then he refereed us against Colchester, I think, last season. And because the stakes were so high for that game, it's possible that I may have had a slight over. He probably wasn't that bad, but I came out of that game the kind of the highs of almost definitely being promoted, but with an innate hatred for Sonny Singh.
Hello.
Yes.
This is his first season in the EFL.
Oh, I did know that.
Did you?
Yes, because my dad said something about we had a Sunday league ref.
Yeah, great.
Yeah, but I've told you the story about my friend's dad who used to manage in the National League, and because they do the referee assessments, and everyone that was shit, they'd give really good assessments to get them out of the National League and into the Football League.
They do that. But oh my god, it's so bad. Do you know what? It's that bad. It's rattling me up again. Like, genuinely, I don't think I've called the ref to see you next Tuesday that many times in my life.
The thing was, like, I was talking to someone at Salford a couple of weeks ago, and they'd had a really bad referee. I can't remember whether things had gone in their favour. I think they had. I think they'd gone in their favour, and he couldn't quite believe it. And I said to him at the time, but you will have other games where everything goes in the other team's favour. And that's how it was. So it's unusual that he was just equally bad, which is worrying, quite honestly. But
do you know what? He's going to be one of them refs where I'll look every weekend. Well,
yes, I was just going to say that. Yeah,
he's going to be one of them, and I'm just going to put on the. I don't care. I'm going to comment below the club's post. Good fucking luck. Or maybe he was just blind, or he had something in his eye that day. He was fucking shit.
Yeah,
I don't like to slate people because we all have bad days at work, and it's his job.
It is his job.
But when you're that bad, if I did that bad at my job, I'd be sacked tomorrow.
Yeah. And yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens. I mean, presumably, if it's his first league in the EFL, you would hope that there's like continuous assessments, and maybe not. Yeah. I don't know.
Do you realise what we did, Mansfield? In about the 15th minute, I don't think you would have heard it because your fans were really loud. So in that end, if your fans are loud, you'll barely be able to hear us. Mm-hmm. But everyone just started blurting out Mansfield till I die. And you were just like, that's kind of hinted at one person. You know, and that was beautiful. No, do you know what my thoughts were on Stockport? I thought, you know what? First off, I thought you looked a bit shaky at the back, and that's where I was saying
about the injuries.
Louis Reed kept playing these over top through balls to McLaughlin on our left side, and that's when I was saying about your right back or right centre half from Everton, saying he's quite poor. But then second half, we couldn't get into the final third as easy. We couldn't create chances as easy.
Yeah,
we didn't do any clear cut chances. We had nearlies. But in that second half, we had nothing. Literally nothing. We weren't actually a moment where I was like, oh, nearly a goal.
And we've been better second halves.
Yeah. You were so good defensively in that second half. And then, you know, I think you could tell you were injury stricken, like you could with us.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. I think you'll be fine. I honestly think you'll be in playoffs. I thought you were a lot better than Barnsley, even in that second half.
That's good to know. Well, hopefully we're aiming by Crawley to have 4 to 5 back, including Michael Mellon, who, interestingly, when the first his first prognosis was like 12 months out, and it ended up being, I don't know, 4 or 5 weeks. So hoping Bates will be back, Diamond potentially. Well, no, in fact, I think Bate was included in the 4 or 5. So yeah, I think Macca's back September, October. So
yeah, well,
plenty of time for another injury crisis like you guys last year.
Should we get on to Mansfield? I think. Well, I thought we were. Do you know what? Every single one of them deserve a pat on the back. I can't fault anybody. I thought we were incredible. I think we were all incredible. Like, spot on. Every player there. You know, you proved what it is to play for Mansfield. That's what I want. That's 110%. You play for that badge, you know. And I love DKD to bits, but I hope it sent a message to him like, this is what it means to play for our club. Like, you know, we should have. I'm going to sound daft, and people are probably saying I'm being negative, but we shouldn't have even had a chance yesterday. I'm sorry, we shouldn't. We have a left wing back who's not started since God knows when, Gillingham, and that's only because half the team were bloody hammered, drunk. You had Cargill, who hasn't started since March. Oshalaja. You had Hewitt, who's been out, barely had a pre-season. We had a striker at right wing back. Our midfield were good. That's the only area where I could sit there and just go, yeah, fairs. But we had no backers. And then our strikers are fully fit. But to come away from that and to limit you to so many chances with the attack you've got, because I think February is a quality player and he'll go on to big things, especially, and same with Barry. To keep them not quiet, because February had chances, but to keep them limited is a testament to the setup Clough had and also the hard work they've got in. So when I was saying to you, it should have been back 4-0, I'm sat there thinking, how have we got a point here? But I do think you should have. I think they would, if there were one team to win, it would have been you. But I think overall,
I think that's fair.
I think overall, I'm just proud of the boys. They've done well.
And I think it was a response to kind of the squad situation that you've got, because you'd expected FBT back. Flint, and then he turned up in a boot the day before at the signing thing. I think it was a kind of a reaction to that, but then, you know, you can deal with two different ways with a loss like that the week before. And you can respond with a half-ass, we've had our feelings hurt, we're feeling really sorry for ourselves, or you can come out like they did yesterday.
It was so weird because before the game, in our fan zone and everything, I went for the last 30 minutes before kickoff. I were in pub before, made it back, which was great. In a lot of times, so I could meet all lads in pub, and I've had a few pints. I had far too many pints actually, and you could tell it was miserable. Like you could tell it was like a chore for people to be there.
Yeah,
and but then we got into the ground. The drum starts going. Everyone's loud. We're being rowdy, like you said. Everyone just looked, and the players just reciprocated that. They went onto the pitch. Will Evans, I really want to know what his running stats was because I've never seen someone run his bollocks off like that. What a guy! I'm proud. I'm genuinely so proud of the boys. You lose a key player like him, and you lose all these injuries, and you come out, and we didn't play well in the second half, but I was just still proud due to the hard work that we put in to get that point.
I've just looked at the fixtures for Saturday because I rave about football web pages, but it's let me down today. So the games that are on next weekend, there's Barnsley Bristol, Charlton Rotherham, and Wrexham Shrewsbury.
Yeah.
So everything else is postponed, which is a completely different story to. So you should have had Wickham. Who have you got the week after?
We have got Cambridge at home, which
okay. So that's a nice. I wouldn't say easy, but Cambridge were not good.
Yeah,
they were nice starts the season for us.
I mean, I don't think we've got many Cambridge fans following us, but if we do, and you're listening, it's one where I'm sat there thinking, all right, this is it. This is where we get a bit of momentum going.
Yeah.
And no offense to them, it's just that you don't look that good.
No.
It's like saying sorry. It's like saying no offense to you, but I don't like you. That's pretty much what I've just said. It sounds really horrible, but they've conceded 9 goals and they've only scored in one game. They've scored 4 goals, but they've only scored in one game. We've scored 7.
Well, records are meant for breaking, aren't they? You scored the first goal against us this season.
We saw that at half time. Someone said that to me. I went, what?
Yeah, we've not conceded a goal until Saturday.
To save that. I love Corey.
Oh, do you know what though? So Corey Adai, and we really need to talk about other teams. Although we have done Crawley Barnsley, I suppose. Corey Adai, I'll send you a chart later. And I was looking at Optastats, which, for me is like porn. But it's got the goal mouth, and it shows you all the shots that he saved, all the shots that he's conceded. And all of the shots he's conceded, bar one, I think, are down there. So that it was almost like they'd been looking at it and like, right, we need to go down low. And I don't know whether it's an agility thing, like he is so tall, it's a long way to come down. But yeah, very, very stark in terms of the distribution of goals that he saves and concedes. It's really interesting.
It's really mad, I'm just looking at the stats from our first game. You had 5 shots, but I can only remember like 3. Fevriers, the goal, and the header that before that goal. So obviously where Pim parries it straight onto Watton's head goal.
Yeah.
I can't remember 5, but oh well. I'm not really bothered.
Shall we talk about Birmingham and Jay Stansfield?
It's just people who slag it off, you know, if your club had that money and you're doing it, you'd love it. So when I'm seeing Wrexham fans, I know what Wrexham fans are like. None of our fans have said it. I saw it on deadline day. Oh, well, look at them splashing the cash and people mention us. Don't go in there and make it all about you, because it's not about you. It's about them. And, if I had an owner who's willing to put 20 million on a striker, you know what? Fair play, I'd be buzzing as well. You can slag it off all you like, but we'd all want it.
Yeah. And it's funny because that's the argument that they have as well, in terms of, being like making comments about Rob and Ryan or whatever. But if it's your club and wanted to invest and wanted the whole commercial stuff that goes around it, you'd want it too. And I think the only comment I've taken umbrage with this weekend was a Mansfield fan. And I realised I did it on the League One Look account, so I was like, "Oh God, Harry's going to tell me off later." But he was saying, he was saying that he was talking about it's the two promoted teams that are first and second in the league, and it's all about money. I was like, you really can't throw that argument around. I saw that tweet.
I didn't
when there's like a Birmingham, a Burton, Rotherham, Stevenage have obviously got Jake Young now and had Kemp earlier on in the window. So yeah, I mean, Brendan, let me just add this comment here. So Brendan said that he's a Wrexham fan and he likes seeing us top of the table with Wrexham. Seeing League Two teams doing well makes me think we might be able to make it into the playoffs. I disagree to a certain extent, just because I think it's so early. It's 4 games in. You can't make any kind of realistic assessment of what the rest of the season's going to be. And the same way, like, we said after that Bolton Wrexham game that was really exciting, that it was at least reassuring that we you beat Wrexham last season, didn't you? No, okay. Some of us beat Wrexham last season, and it was reassuring to know that we can be competitive with other teams like that. Obviously, they beat Peterborough yesterday, and Peterborough have fallen into the Peterborough fan base have fallen into the trap of thinking that they would absolutely walk that result, and obviously that did not happen. Go on.
I've just looked at the tweet.
I know that I fucked up the reply, if that's what you're going to tell me.
He followed us.
Pardon?
He followed us, and now he's unfollowed us now.
Fine.
Good riddance.
Well,
bye.
Never mind.
No, you were arguing with me the other night about Brooksville, but yeah, in relation.
It's you can't Stockport and Wrexham money doesn't, and the transfer business doesn't compare to Birmingham, Burton, Stevenage money.
I wouldn't say Stevenage to an extent. I'd say more. If I were to pick 3 in this league, to be fair, it'd be obviously Birmingham. Birmingham by a fucking country mile, definitely. So I wouldn't even say Burton. Obviously, the splash clash on Vancouver, but I wouldn't even say them. Let me have a look. I'd probably say.
I suppose that's fair. But like with Stevenage, I was thinking of the teams that had made big signings with players that's still under contract, so they've paid a fee as well as the wages. Burton have done what we've done in terms of lots of free agents, but they don't play for you for free. They then demand big wages. But some of them will have been bought out of contracts.
I think you can chuck in Posh. It's
yes,
not mad, but they've forked out a lot for Con Clark.
Yeah.
That's a fact. Who else have they brought in? I'm trying to think.
Never from Rochdale. Yeah. Is it Katonga that's gone back? And someone else.
But to be fair to them, they have lost a lot of wages in like Clark Harris.
Yeah.
They left back. I haven't seen my left back, Rio Abadizi, play.
No.
Is he injured?
No.
That'll make me sad.
Yeah, but they do. It's like Wrexham. They buy players and then don't necessarily either. I don't know whether Wrexham's kind of strategy is to, I don't know, to bring them in through training
He's
to
got
get
to
them.
be injured. He hasn't played in anything.
Yeah, but look at people like Schmack, like Con Clark hasn't played, has he?
Yeah, he came off bench.
No.
But to be fair,
but they kept Schmanga there for ages.
I will put Wrexham into that top 3 category. If you actually look at it, they've signed. If you're looking at the wages, and I'm sorry to do it, guys, but you blew us out the water for Brunt. George Dobson's got to be on a fair whack. You did who was the club record transfer?
Was it Seb Raven?
No, but he'll be on a lot. He came from a Prem club, and we're in Championship last season. Who was this? They did a club record transfer. Watching how he gets. No,
Brendan, who was your club record transfer? Quick!
Honestly,
he does get very upset, Brendan.
I don't at all. I just
Dude, you get, it's like your trigger. Liam was the same. I wash it over, like let it wash over me now. And sometimes stick up for Wrexham as well. No foul. Yeah, but there was that. They weren't the record transfer, was it? It was someone in between. It was after. Oh, said no.
But this is the thing, right? I don't have an issue with Wrexham, right? And I respect it if you've got the money. And like I said with Birmingham.
If you got the money, I wish it could be funny.
Yeah, like I said with Birmingham. If you've got it, spend it, right? So when I'm saying, "Oh, you're spending money," blah blah blah, it's not me having a dig at you. It's me saying, "Well, look, these are the facts. You've spent money."
Ollie Rathbone.
Yeah.
Was the transfer record.
Yeah, so, and, there's no wrong with it. Like I said, Birmingham spent 20 million. So what? But, there is, when I'm saying you've spent all this money, don't take it the wrong way. It's just, it's facts.
Yeah. Yeah, although the reported fee for Mo Farl was 500,000, which is 200 grand, well, more or less 200 grand more than what they paid for Ollie Rathbone. So if that's true, even though the club haven't announced it as a record.
You know what, Luke Bolton? I know what Luke Bolton's wages are at Wrexham. So if we want to talk about spending money,
yeah.
And I'm not gonna lie, he's sat in your stands instead of playing. I know what he's on. Because Mansfield tries learning. I'm not going to repeat it. I'm not going to say it out loud, but I can tell you it. I know after this, it is a substantial amount of money. Considering we didn't pay it because we were meant to get him in on loan, it weren't ever going to be. It weren't ever going to be what you call it. Oh, cheers, Brendan. Not many Wrexham fans actually like me. I just interpret that they don't like me now because I don't really give a fuck. Like, genuinely. I do think Wrexham have got it in the bag. I think Phil Parkinson's done great, Look at their start. They've had Bolton, Peterborough away, 2 clubs in the playoffs, and they've got 4 points.
Yeah, but if you listen to their fans in terms of and don't get me wrong, I've always said this, we have some absolute whoppers who are saying that we're going to be playing Everton next season, but
that'd be so funny though. I don't care.
Well, did you know, random fact, we're the closest club to the Mersey?
Yeah, I know you are. I actually I found that out. Someone put that on the other day.
It's a good quiz question.
You said Stockport, when you said someone made a tweet about Stockport v Everton's meant to be a fixture, and someone said, "Oh well, it's not that far anyway. Closest club to Thursday."
Yeah, but I think because of where Bolton and Peterborough finished in the league last season, that's and we've said that Stockport have had a relatively gentle start. We haven't played any of the playoff teams. We haven't played any of the relegated teams. I think that their kind of quality of opposition has been high in terms of last season's performance, which is giving them some kind of hope for the rest of the season. But I genuinely believe that these teams that have recruited heavily, once they get used to playing together, then they're just going to fly.
They will. I think Peterborough will do well. I've got something in me about Peterborough this season. I don't know why.
I've got something about Bolton not doing well.
Yeah.
So far that's there. But I did get Marshall educated me on Friday night about Bolton's recruitment strategy and how it's all database. Guy called Ian Graham. I bought the book. It was delivered yesterday. I'm so excited. I'm going to be full of absolute, you'll get sick of it. Be like, in that book that Marshall recommends, it says. But yeah, their recruitment is apparently amongst the best in the Football League because they are using the guy that was at Liverpool and kind of is credited with kind of changing Liverpool's fortunes in the kind of early 2010s.
Yeah.
So yeah. So we'll see. Right. What else went on? We're at an hour, so we probably don't want to go on that much longer.
I think we should I'll run through the League One results now.
Yeah.
If there's anything that is to be talked about, that needs to be talked about, we will.
Okay.
In fact, I'm going to start easy. Rotherham. They've won a game. That fucking prick's won a game. And his celebration, he still made himself look like an idiot.
Today I've not seen it.
No, so they score, he runs on pitch, tries to jump, goes back that much up in air, straight back down, and then he runs onto the pitch at full-time whistle, goes up to the fans, he points to the Huddersfield fans, claps his own fans, keeps pointing to these Huddersfield fans. I'm like, what the fuck? Wow. He somehow, even when he wins, makes him sound like a prat.
So we've also Birmingham, just going back to them, they obviously beat Wigan 2-1, but it was their winner was a 90+1, and I'm fairly sure that they've had late winners in 2 or 3 of the 4 games that they've played, or equalisers. So they're definitely who did it last season in League 2? Was it
what?
Just shithousing late wins?
Oh,
there was Crawley. I can't remember. There was someone, and you'd look at it and be like, every single week there was a 90-something minute goal. Yeah.
Blackpool got Swindon. Swindon was one notably because they got a few last-minute goals against Wrexham and Mansfield. They beat us in 90+5.
But Wrexham as well, actually, we're very good at it.
Yeah, Wrexham was good at it.
Blackpool Wickham was 2-2, which is it's their first. It's their first points. I can't remember. No, I think they did Cambridge last week, didn't they?
Drew 4-4. What a game!
Yeah,
I watched the goals back of that after we did our podcast, and I was just sat there like, yeah, you know what? This was a great game. Shit quality. The defending were embarrassing, but good quality.
Yeah. But it's nice for Richard Keeper as well to have that.
I had a Birmingham fan comment. Enjoying the balanced view.
We are very balanced. Yeah. Sometimes we just cancel each other out.
It's a majority of the Wrexham fans. Balanced. There we go. You know what? Hannah, print that off. I'm going to put that on the CV.
We can put it on the what's it called, on the Twitter bio, X bio.
Honestly,
Bolton.
and if this guy has got Twitter because he's commented on YouTube, I think, or it could be female, not assuming genders, male or female, whoever's commented that, if you've got Twitter, you're getting a shout out. So put your Twitter in if you want, and we'll go with
that. Bristol beat Cambridge 2-0, 1-0 at half time, so a goal in either half, both from Promise Omacheri. We beat Bristol the week before last at Edgeley Park, and they just were sloppy. I mean, obviously so again, Bristol, Cambridge, presumably they've got Blackpool next. I don't actually know if that's true, but they're in this block, the same block. So they play. So Cambridge, we played on the opener, and then
why?
Then they met.
Why did you have to ask who they're playing next? It'll be DKD's debut.
For Bristol or Cambridge, against Bristol or Cambridge?
Bristol.
Yeah, but that makes sense because then we've got Barnsley in a couple of weeks on a Saturday night. I'm quite looking forward to it, although most county fans aren't.
The thing is, I really want DKD to do well. So I hope he scores hat tricks, but I hope Barnsley concede 4. Like, I'm so bitter, like, about it, but at the same time, I love DKD too much to say anything bitter about him.
Yeah. I mean, Cambridge, that makes sense to me. I did the Fan Hubs 5 and had Bristol to beat Cambridge because having seen both of them, Bristol, I felt like they would be more likely to come out on top. So not a massive surprise, I don't think. Milanchik Ali, who used to play at County years ago, scored for Exeter. He's brilliant and should do really well for them. I think he signed in the summer.
So there's one game I do actually want to speak about is Shrewsbury Leighton Orient. And I know Marshall's not.
Oh, I know.
I know. I hope, and I think Marshall might watch it back, and he's not going to like me for saying this. Just get the feeling of second season syndrome. I know it's only 4 games in. I just do. I don't know why. I just get second season syndrome straight into my head. I've watched the goals back. I watched it this morning. I'm just sat there thinking.
And 1-0 they were at 1-0 for an hour. So Castledean's goal, which I think was there is a stat for Cat. So he's a loanee from Chelsea, scored in his first ever EFL game, and he's also the first teenager to score for Shrewsbury in the league.
I've got a fun fact.
Good.
Scored against Mansfield in pre-season.
Did he?
Yeah, for Chelsea under 21s in Portugal.
So yeah, I've completely lost my flow now. So yeah, he scored in the 22nd minute, and then it took an hour for Tom Bloxham to score, and then he scored again in the 95th minute. So it feels like that's a bit of a lost opportunity for Orient. I mean, Marshall talked about how they have had a slow that they knew that they were going to have a hard start to the season with the play, and they'd had Bolton, they'd had Charlton, they'd had Birmingham. Shrewsbury feels like one that they should have been more competitive in if you comparing the two. Richie Wellens, go on.
With all due respect to Shrewsbury, this was the game for Leighton Orient to start the season. And I mean, I'm watching this first goal back just to refresh my memory. It's so sloppy. It's a great ball through on goal, but it's just like the defensive line's like a wonky line. Like, have you seen a Sunday League pitch?
Yeah.
Like, on a park, and the lines are a roll over gaff. That's what their defense were like. I don't know. I just get that feeling. And I've seen the comment by the Birmingham fan. Do I think Welling will leave for Blackpool? No, not for Blackpool. I think he doesn't want to. He's not the type of character to leave a club in a mess. And I'm not saying Leyton Orient's in a mess because they're not. But I'm saying he won't leave on rock bottom at the table.
The only thing about Wellens, though, is, you know, he did say, didn't like, I think the phrase was "come and get me," wasn't it, or something like that. But he lives in the same town as me, so for the Birmingham fan, that's South Manchester. So Blackpool, like for him, you know, in Leyton Orient,
he's a former player, isn't he?
Yeah, it does make sense, and geographically it makes sense as well.
I don't see him. I know the type of character he is. I know how special that season it was when they got promoted. He's got that relationship with the fans.
Yeah,
I can't see him leaving them with them being
but you know, similarly to Pete Wild and Barrow and the kind of degradation of that relationship, ultimately it comes down to resources. And, you know, Marshall's quite open about, you know, there being 3 tiers in League One, and, you know, that they are somewhere, you know, in the second, bottom half of the second tier. So you can imagine a conversation where a manager is saying, you know, to be successful, I need X, Y, and Z. And the owners saying, you know, that's not within our resources. You know, Marshall said as well about Leyton Orient, about their kind of understanding their limitations and needing to do it sustainably and, you know, very, very gently if they are pushing for championship football. So, you know, as reasonable and as ethical as Richie Wellens is, I can see why that wouldn't be a situation that you wanted to stay in for too long.
I wouldn't rule it out, mainly because he's the next Blackpool player. If he can't turn down and offer a good wage, then he's obviously going to go shut Chris.
And an hour from home as opposed to 3.
I just don't. I think he's got so much about him that where he just wouldn't leave a team if they were bottom at league. But
you know, management, and you know, we know this from different people that we've interviewed. I'm thinking of one in particular who said, you know, you have to be so careful about the next job you take, because you know, for him, like if he says, right, do you know what, I'm going to see this out, and then Orient's season continues in decline, that's what he'll be remembered for, not for the promotion success. And that's what he, you know, that's his CV then, you know, when he's taking that into his next role. So, you know, from a business point of view, it makes sense, I think, for him to explore other opportunities now.
I do
but,
agree.
You know, people do have their loyalties, but sometimes they stay too long because of those loyalties.
I can think of a couple of players who were at Mansfield who stayed for too long due to the loyalties. I know that isn't a DKD reference. This is more backing.
No, DKD can stay forever.
I'm talking about players who's been like really good, stayed at Mansfield for too long and then stagnated.
And it comes to the detriment of their career then.
What the Birmingham fan is literally exactly what I mean. Like they've got so close to getting a point out of these good teams, and then they've just gone and lost to Shrewsbury. Like got battered. I think last game I'm going to talk about will probably be Stevenage.
I mean, Lincoln are up to fourth now. Not that anyone's looking at the table. And you know, a kind of a little bit of a rocky early start to the season, but have since recovered. And I'd be happy if I was an Imps fan.
a Lincoln fan, yeah, I'd be buzzing. I'd be absolutely buzzing. You've just beat your rivals 4-1. You know, yes, you might have lost to Barnsley, but so what? You should have had a penalty, could have got a point out of it. Realistically, they could. No, they wouldn't be top at league because you'd have a better goal difference, but you'd be joint top. And I'd be buzzing. I'd be very enthusiastic if I were a Lincoln fan. And they've done all this without, in my opinion, a good striker. And now they've got Bailey Cadametri, which is just going to absolutely blow this league away. I think, right, with the start some of these teams have had, Birmingham's going to win league. But I won't rule out Lincoln to finish in that top 2.
Yeah. And, this weekend we haven't seen the vast majority of the late signings. So, come and most of the teams aren't playing next weekend. So they've got 2 weeks to bed in. It's the best start that you could hope for new players to find their way with the culture of the club, the culture of the team, and find their place. I think we'll see a big shift change in 2 weeks.
I think, well, the reason why I wanted to speak about Stevenage is, and don't take it the wrong way,
because you love Stevenage.
I find it funny. Like, every week I see a video of a sitter they have missed on Twitter posted by one of their fans. And I feel bad because I don't literally want to sit there and say they need a striker, because it's just literally a one-off miss, like that Elliot List miss, what do you call it, Huddersfield. I think it was in this time, so it's not a one-off, but situations where it's a 90% chance of a goal and it's just missed. It was like Tanto's, where if he just passes it, it's a goal, pretty much. But they aren't as bad as what their results seem. I genuinely don't think it. They're on 4 points. I thought they're only on 3. Don't know who they're through to. Burton, that rate 0-0. Who's had 2 0-0s in a row, by the way.
And they've now, so for those of you in League One who are unfamiliar with the significance of Jake Young joining Stevenage on Friday, this is a much touted link up of a partnership that resulted from Kemp going from MK Dons to Swindon on loan last season, and Jake Young going from Bradford on loan to Swindon last season. And between them, can you remember how many goals they scored? It was ridiculous.
It was. I don't actually want to know what the partnership were like. I know Dan Kemp's were mad and Jake Young's were just.
Yeah. So Stevenage have recreated that strike partnership, and it will be really interesting to see, because I've often wondered, there was all sorts of hypotheses about like Bradford trying to buy Kemp in, or MK Dons trying to buy Jake Young in, and for them both to have gone to a third club is really interesting. And I can't wait to see whether they can recreate that alchemy somewhere else.
And then, I've just got the stats up for Dan Kemp. 26 goal contributions in 27 games at Swindon. And Jake Young, bearing in mind, they both had poor second half of seasons when they went back to their parent club.
Yeah, but Jake Young didn't play much, did he? Because he came back from Swindon carrying an injury. So he ended up having surgery.
20 and 26.
Yeah. They were incredible. There was Swindon tears. They did a whole, when they left, watching their goal, Swindon filmed them watching their goals back, wasn't they? It was kind of almost like a testimonial type, because the Swindon fans were absolutely.
But people get that. And I don't realise how many people actually think that when there's 6-month loan. I was speaking to a Barnsley fan when all the DKD things were kicking off, and they were saying, and I was obviously talking about how much I love DKD, and he was saying, well, you should have seen how much we love McAtee, who's now at Bolton. like he was worshipped and he was only there for 6 months. Like I didn't realise how much like.
Yeah.
I mean, I fell in love with a lone player that were on a season-long loan, and he's now sitting in stands in Wales. But you know, I didn't realise that can happen in 6 months.
Yeah, and Kemp and Young were both recalled, weren't they? They weren't. Things at Swindon, kind of behind the scenes, have been a little bit uncertain for the last couple of seasons, and yes, they're both recalled by their parent clubs. So, international weekend. How are you spending yours?
I think I might be off to Fleetwood. Not sure why. I don't know why I'm going to Fleetwood to tick off ground, because I really can't be asked. But I want to tick a ground off, and I don't think we'll be playing Fleetwood for a long while, because Mansfield are mint, and we're going to stay up, and DKD doesn't mean nothing. Say that about it. But yeah, mental. Oh, remote. But we haven't spoken about. We've got to speak about Burton. I'm sorry, we'll have about 5 minutes on Burton. 2-0 draws in a row. Scored 2 in the first day, then scored 3. So we'll do it in order. 2 against Lincoln, 3 against us, 0-0. So they've gone from defending like badly and attacking mint to not scoring and then not conceding. The fuck? And I'm actually seeing Burton fans saying, well, that was shit again. After coming away from first 2 games very, very happy.
Yeah.
So, I mean, they had 13 shots. That was 9 more than what Mansfield did. And we scored a goal.
I don't know when we play them.
He's not scored yet, has he? Either.
I've not seen it, no.
Do you know what?
I think he did.
No, he's got an assist. He might have scored in one of the cups.
Maybe it was, maybe it was the cup game.
It was the EFL trophy.
Woo!
But yeah, I hate that with a passion. That cup is the bottom of the barrel.
I'm going to Accrington on Tuesday night. And you know, I mean, I always kind of say that I'll go home and away if I'm in the country. But I feel like I don't really know why I'm going to Accrington on Tuesday.
Did you go to Accrington last year?
Yeah.
What are you doing?
I don't know. I don't know.
No,
I don't know. I have no answers. It's one of those kind of, and I feel a little bit the same way about Crawley after saying to Daniel how much I like a Crawley away day, but it's fact.
Last fact of the night.
Okay.
Burton B team are above Burton A. Thank you.
Huh?
They call their fans, I think they're like hilarious and call us Burton B because most of our team has played
I see.
If we actually go through our team on Saturday, Oshilaja played for Burton, and this is just in our starting 11. Oshilaja played for Burton. Akins played for Burton. Quinn played for Burton, so that's 3. We had DKD for Burton. Fraser Blake Tracy played for Burton.
Oh, today.
Yeah. And they say he's the worst player that's ever played for him.
Well.
And then the 6th one, if he signs by Wednesday, will be Scott Fraser, who used to play for Burton. I find it funny.
Well, you're getting the gang back together. Have they played together?
Most have, yeah.
Or are they all different kind of eras?
Different eras, especially Oshilaja and DKD. They played together. And then, Akins and Quinn played together. But yeah.
Let me check my stats. I think I've done all of them. It talks about Promise Omacheri. So it was his first brace in the EFL, scoring as many against Cambridge yesterday as he had in his previous 18 league games combined. So that would suggest he's scored twice in the last 18 games. We talked about Wrexham earlier.
Who got relegated. Only thing I'd like to add is never fall in love with a Macklem. It ends badly. I'm proud of the Mansfield lads again for putting 110% in.
Yeah.
I hope everyone who's playing next week has a good games. Will we be doing anything 606 wise?
Yeah, I mean, we could do. Well, we can do this again, like podcast / phone in type thing. We should get David from Burton to come and talk to us. Have they got a game?
Yeah. Do you know what? I might go out my way this week, and I might contact. Wrexham playing.
Yes, they are. They're playing Shrewsbury.
Out of the like 3 or 4 fans that actually do like me, I might be able to get one of them on. They might come and speak, and then we'll try and get a few Burton fans on. We've got a good following from them. And I think Shrewsbury's got a podcast, so I might get one of their guys on.
They've got a Solopcast.
That's the one.
Yeah.
See what they're doing next Sunday.
All right. Well,
in the meantime,
I'll enjoy my trip to Accrington. We can talk about all the BSM trophy action.
I'd rather not. Can we just boycott this? Like, let's not bother.
If you've come across this on YouTube, you can follow us at League One Look. This will also be available on Spotify. And if you're listening on Spotify, it's a bit late now. I was going to say you can watch on YouTube. Otherwise, we'll see you next week. I hope you have a better week, Harry, with no emotional football-related trauma.
I've literally got nothing. Nothing.
It'll be fine.
The only thing that could go wrong, there's no touch wood, is my car breaking down. That's the only thing that could go wrong.
Well, I hope you haven't jinxed it.
Well, bye, guys.
So much detail then.